Welcome back to another episode on the MLD Balls page. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to close a Super Bowl window. What it do, Cincinnati? Y'all know what it do because y'all team is bunions. I'm not going to lie. Y'all got a top 3 quarterback. And I think this is a team that, I don't know, bro. I don't know how I feel about the Bengals. Today's episode, I'm going to be rambling about y'all team. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. I'm going to pull up the depth chart right now. Cincinnati Bengals depth chart. Man, Joe Burrow's a top 3 quarterback. I understand that. Jamar Chase, I think he is a top 2 receiver in the league. T. Higgins, he's a great receiver. And I just named 75% of the Bengals cap space. After that, there's how many? There's 64 players on the NFL roster, and I named 75% of the cap space with 3 players. That's why I think that this Super Bowl window is closed. Dude, the Jamar Chase and T. Higgins agent absolutely got an A+ for making sure both of the receivers got a max deal. But after that, this team is like nuked. I'm not saying like the roster sucks. This probably is a playoff team if Joe Burrow can stay healthy. But O-line is cool. O-line is cool. The weapons are amazing. Mike Gesicki is also on this team. Chase Brown has been amazing as a young player. Taj Brooks is a rookie that they drafted who's pretty good. Zach Moss is good. No, they have amazing offense. Maybe the best offense in the league. And then you go on to the defense, man. This is why I think their Super Bowl window is closing. There's so many reasons on the defensive side. First of all, I named 3 players that took up 75% of the cap space. You know why that brings on problems? First of all, Trey Hendrickson. He's better than T. Higgins, and you're not going to pay him? He's literally your best defensive player. T. Higgins is a top 5 player on your offense. I know. I'm saying that, and it's like, nah, he's obviously our third best, but I mean, Chase Brown is really good. I'm not saying Chase Brown is better than T. Higgins, but I mean, like, there's not a conversation on the defensive side of the ball. Trey Hendrickson is the best player, somebody could argue T. Higgins is the fourth on offense. And he's a part of 75, like, dude, you're not even paying Trey Hendrickson. And what was the biggest problem on this team last year? Their run defense. And what did they do? They only drafted run defense. And it's to the point where I think it's actually bad. Shamar Stewart isn't a player I was high on. He's not a player who I thought he's a project pick, he's not a pass rusher. And yeah, he was a good run defender. But I think he played next to the best defensive interior in Texas A&M, Shamar Turner. Shamar Turner was the best run defender on the team. If you wanted run defense that bad, why didn't you take Shamar Turner, who's the best run defender on Texas A&M? But like they took Shamar Stewart because of his. It's kind of like, well, what was Buddy Trayvon Walker? His athleticism, his frame, his size. He's 260. Like, he's a big body and a good run defender. So hopefully he could turn into a Jadeveon Clowney. But like, Shamar Turner, in my opinion, was better. Mike Green was on the board. Like, the Bengals, like, it's like they did, oh man, in the draft. I ain't like how they did, because after that they took Demetrius Knight, who's also like a frame size project pick. He's a normal linebacker like KJ Wright to me. Like, he's a linebacker who's gonna, stop the run sometime like Zach Cunningham. But there was just players on the board that were still there. But like, these 2 picks is gonna help the run defense. They gonna help, but like, I don't like the places that they took them, and I feel like they kind of just overdid the need of run defense. They should have just added more defense in free agency, added run defense. But the thing is, they don't got no money, bro. They don't got no money to pay Trey Hendrickson. How are they gonna have money to pay other people? Yo, the Bengals window might have been closed, y'all. Miles Murphy, edge rusher that they drafted a couple years ago, he's been not producing all that well. But someone like Dax Hill, him having some better run defense in front of him is cool, I guess. Like, their secondary ain't bad. Jordan Battle is cool. Geno Stone is cool. Daxton Hill is cool. I like how they really got like 3 safeties out there, so you really Dax Hill is similar to like Cooper DeJean and CJ Gardner Johnson, to where like he can kind of hide your coverage, but like, man, this Bengals team, like as I'm talking about it out loud, Bengals fans, as long as y'all make the playoffs, that's what it is. Y'all got to make the playoffs. Y'all got to make the playoffs. It's hard to win regular season games when you can't stop the run. But if y'all make the playoffs and y'all got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, anything can happen. Like that's where the Bengals are at though. They praying to God, like it's cool. It's cool. It could work, but does it always work? I'm learning in life that sometimes it just don't work like that. It ain't working the way you want to. But guess what? You still gotta go keep it pushing, bro. Like the Bengals, man, they gotta like, I don't know, man. Trey Hendrickson, Bengals fans, y'all let me know in the comments. This is probably my most negative video. Like this is probably my quickest video of the series, my most negative one, because I'm kind of disappointed, y'all. Y'all got Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase just milking y'all, but at the same time, they are three super talented players. I might have just let go on T. Higgins and cashed in on like, that's hard though. T. Higgins is amazing chemistry wise, great, but like last year was proof that you could have the best offense and still not make the playoffs. Like it happened. It happened. But at the same time, what if you just keep the offense together and recoup more assets towards the defense? That makes sense. But the Bengals being cheap and not paying T. Higgins a long time ago is one of the big reasons why, like last year when Jamar Chase was hurt and T. Higgins wasn't on the field, he proved how valuable he is. So I understand the Bengals having to pay him, but last year they should have paid him because that's why they missed the playoffs. Remember, Bengals fans, the first couple games of the year when T. Higgins was on strike, y'all won games by like one possession every single time y'all lost. And what if T. Higgins was there? Like that's a field goal. Y'all consistently lost by field goals. And imagine if T. Higgins was a part of the team. But Bengals fans, Bengals owner, whatever his name is, dude, got to be better, man. You got to pay these players before their agents milk you out for 75% of the cap space. Like he held out and got more money. That's a bad look, Like he held out for like 25 mil, and then he got like 30. Like he proved himself to be right. And the Bengals head coach, I'm gonna see any staff changing for the Bengals this year. Zach Taylor is still there at head coach. He actually has gotten better as their head coach. Like I'm pretty comfortable with him there. Defensive coordinator, they have Al Golden, who got the position this year. So yeah, I could imagine. Yeah. Of course they would have got a new defensive coordinator, huh? They had they had the number one offense in the league and didn't make the playoffs. Makes sense. Worst run defense in the league, one of the worst. One of the worst run defenses in the league, though. I'll say, Bengals fans, y'all did add run defenders in the draft, but at what cost? Y'all was desperate. Shamar Stewart, dude, that's like, hopefully you could develop into a run defender. Like, dang, we looking for guys that could develop into run defenders. I thought we get good players that could already run defend and like turn them into a pass rusher. You know what I mean? Like Shamar Stewart has no pass rush production, and his run defense, hopefully it's good, but like, man, Bengals fans, I'm sorry that this was a negative video, but like I said, I think the window kind of closing, but at the same time, y'all could just play the Saints game. Like I think that's what the Bengals should just do at this point. Do what the Saints do. Buy all in on Joe Burrow, kind of like how the Saints did with Drew Brees. Yeah, risk the next 10 years of your franchise for 5 more years of Joe Burrow. And in the future years, restructure T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow, and just get defense. Like restructure all their contracts every year and get defense. Do what the Saints did with Drew. That's what the Saints did with Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, and they tackles. But the Bengals don't got those tackles. They got the weapons. And when them boys are getting restructured, get some offensive line too. Literally, at this point, the Bengals, this is a year where y'all just gotta make the playoffs, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Y'all just gotta make playoffs. Oh, yeah, yeah. Sorry, Bengals fans, like I said, but thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a nice day. And God bless.